The UK, or more specifically England, is separated into two halves, the North and the South. Now, the North-South divide is something that's heavily debated amongst English people, namely because most people can't decide where the fuck it goes. You see, pretty much everybody in England will give you a different line on where the North-South divide is, based entirely upon where they are and which side they'd rather be in. My personal favorite, of course, being this one, because I'm from Mansfield, and that puts me firmly in the North, where I'd like to be. But as much as I say that, the North comes with its problems. You see, people from the North will argue that people from the South are snobbish and rude. Now, this is mainly because the South consists of bigger cities, which are way less personal. People don't say hi to you in the street. People don't really want to give eye contact. This is something that Northerners see as being rude, because Northerners come from little towns where everyone knows everyone and everyone likes to say hi to each other. Now, this is what I grew up with, but to some, it's completely insufferable. And the longer I've lived down south, which I firmly do now, I mean, I'm literally in Brighton. There's no arguing that this is the North. I mean, this is right at the bottom. But the longer I've been here, I really have gotten quite used to the fact that people won't speak to me, and I relish in it. When I first moved down to Brighton, it was like just after COVID, at the peak of the Dream SMP, so I basically got stopped 5 times every time I left the house. But now that's all calmed down, I can actually go about my business completely uninterrupted, and I enjoy it. It's nice. But when I go back up north, I don't have to worry about people recognizing me. Just people will say hi because I'm a person, they're a person, and people like to talk. However, rudeness aside, it's the snobbery that I have to question. You see, people associate being posh with being from the South. Having money, thinking you're better than everybody else, having a favorite bottle of Sauvignon Blanc. And I'd agree that this is somewhat snobbish. But the one thing Southerners don't do is gatekeep. Southerners are happy to call anything the South. But Northerners have this weird sense of pride about being from the North. And literally everyone who is from the North believes they're at the bottom of it. They will not accept that anyone further down the country from them is Northern. I also fall into this category. I mean, the map I picked literally has me at the bottom of the line. I mean, seriously, to a lot of people, namely people from Yorkshire, my girlfriend, I can't even call myself a Northerner. I'm from what they dub the Midlands. That's right, they added a third category, the Midlands. A bit that nobody likes. Seriously, no, people from the North think people from the Midlands should be in the South. The South don't think that they're posh enough to be from the South. And everyone in the Midlands fucking hates that they're from the Midlands. And they have every right to do so. There are plenty of statistics on the North-South divide. The North has way worse public transport, way less funding from the government. They're just generally poorer areas, while the South gets all the treatment from the government, mainly because everyone in government is a posh twat from down there. But when you look at statistics that actually include the Midlands, you'll realize the Midlands is actually the most deprived part of the country. There is no money. There is no transport. There's no tourism. There's fucking nothing. The biggest city we have in the Midlands is Birmingham. Birmingham. You know, with Smethwick and Danny G and Birmingham. This is the most happy man in Birmingham.
It's a fucking shithole. I hate the fucking place. I fucking hate it.
That's the best we have. That's our economic powerhouse. Where the South has London. I mean, everyone's seen London. It has the Royals. It has public transport that works. And the North has Manchester, which arguably is one of the best up-and-coming cities in the country. It's also now the gay capital of the country, so sorry everyone else from Brighton, we were robbed. Sadly, it doesn't matter how many Minecraft YouTubers you have there, you still can't outdo Manchester. Hi, Jack from the future here. Upon doing some research, this is wrong. Brighton, as of 2023, is the gay capital again. Manchester only held it for a brief period. So actually, apparently Minecraft YouTubers really help. I was wrong. Thank you. But you see, the main reason Northerners are so proud to be Northern is because they feel like they've earned it. There's this idea that being from the North comes with some economic suffering, and therefore they suffered enough to earn the title of Northern. So it's completely ridiculous that Northerners won't accept us from the Midlands, because we, in most cases, had it way harder. I'm probably going to get crucified in the comments for saying this, but I don't care. I'm from Mansfield. The only industry we had was coal. We had the biggest coal pit in all of Europe. And then, you know, this wicked bitch came along and just got rid of the whole coal mining industry. Yeah, Mansfield back in those days used to have a bustling town centre. All we've got now is a ghost town with spice heads. Spice is like a synthetic version of weed. I don't know if you really have that in America, if you're an American watching this. It basically makes towns look like The Walking Dead when everyone takes it. It's bad stuff. But as I say, all it's got is like spice and alcohol. You know what's also funny to me? The fact that the US North and South divide is also a thing. However, it's like they inverted your country. You know, the North is generally the place that's considered to have, you know, more wealth and sort of better education rates and, you know, all this sort of stuff. And the South is, you know, Trump's hell country. Where in the UK, pretty much all the Brexit idiots were from the North. And there's like a weird history to that. Like, you know, generally in the UK, it's considered the Conservative Party is sort of the more racist. And the Labour Party is the more liberal-leaning. Yeah, which seems to support my theory that the UK and the US are just flipped versions of each other. But, like, traditionally, this was the other way around. The North actually used to have the more traditionally liberal vote, and the South was more conservative. But somewhere around 2016, this just flipped for some reason. I say for some reason, I think it was this guy.
What did you do with Big Chungus?
The country's had a bad few years. But I don't want to get too much into politics. What I want to focus on is the food. See, this staple English dishes, the full English breakfast, the roast, fish and chips. But depending on where you are, these dishes differ slightly. I mean, the best part of a roast is obviously the Yorkshire pudding, hailing from Yorkshire. And then also, depending on where you get fish and chips, it differs. Now, as I say, I live in the south now, and the fish and chips down here is pretty good. I mean, it's damn good in Brighton. The fish is fresh, so, you know, you're getting that real fishy flavor. The shit I live for. But the south, you need to get on gravy, man. Where's the gravy? When I get my chips, I want gravy with them. You know, that salty liquid made with, like, meat stock, I think, or I'm not, it's brown. I'm not sure how you make the shit. It's brown and it's salty. I like it. And I like to put it on my chips or fries if you're American. But you go down south and you go into the chip shop and you're like, hey, boss, can I get some chips and gravy? Boss has never heard of gravy. Boss doesn't know what gravy is. He has curry sauce. And curry sauce is fine. It's the second best alternative, sure. But where's your gravy? And then when I finally find a boss man who does know what gravy is, it's awful. Everywhere. And I mean everywhere. You go up north, has amazing gravy with their chips. And it's the best item on the menu. Every time. There's no bias in this. I'm just right. However, the south has the best cheese. I mean, just unequivocally, it's not even close. Cheddar is the best cheese. I know, and people are going to call me basic for this. I don't care. In terms of British cheese, cheddar is the best cheese. But okay, ignore me. Say I'm too basic. Look at the other classics from the UK. Stilton, Cambridgeshire. And if you consider Leicester to be in the south, which I do, Red Leicester as well. But the north did secure Wensleydale because it's from Yorkshire. But also, like, that shit's only cool because Wallace liked it. You know, like Wallace and Gromit Wallace. And he is also firmly a northerner, so I suppose that's 2 wins for the north. There's also the accent game. You see, in America, you guys don't really have loads of accent variation. Like, there are places with strong accents, like Texas and New York and Boston. But, like, you have to travel a long way before you hear an accent change. In the UK, you can literally go to neighboring towns, like 5-minute drives, and you will hear distinctly different accents. But, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I think the South takes this one. Southern accents are generally better sounding. They're not harsh. They're smooth. They're silky. They pronounce words clearly. I mean, you can't confuse those guys. You know, the North, we have sort of like Liverpool, which if you've never heard before, they sort of do this thing a lot. They're like, mate, can I get a fucking chicken curry and a can of Coke? Sort of this sort of thing. And then you sort of had Newcastle with that whole ooh, you know, sort of, you know, the weird man. I mean, let me.
You know, what I reckon is that if they had themselves proper jobs, they wouldn't be up to all this, you know, larking every night. What?
You know, these are accents that if you're not well versed in English, you could absolutely lose everything they're saying. You know, and Birmingham, which I do consider to be in the north. I know Birmingham is lower down than Leicester, but I sort of see it as like this diagonal line. I remember my best friend in the world grew up in Leicester, and when he moved up to my sort of part of the country, I just called him posh all the time because he sounded it. People from Birmingham, they don't sound posh. That's the reason they have the you know, the sort of, they get a little divot in the divide. I mean, how are you going to call Danny G Southern? Honestly, it's hard to say who wins this. I personally will always call myself a proud northerner, but I've lived down south for 3 years now, so I feel it fading every day. And realistically, I think we should just all get along. We're all English. We all go through the same struggles of having to live here, where it's grey all the time, and there's rain, and there's that fella that has just sort of decided that he wants to send us all to war for some reason. And, you know, and the trains are on strike all the time, so you plan to go places, but then you realize that the trains aren't running, so you can't go no more. I mean, we all are English. And you know what? We're all British. And you know what? Fuck it. We're all people, damn it. So you know what? Maybe we should be unified in that. And we should all know that at the end of the day, I'm the best. So wherever you think I'm from, that's the best part. You guys seem to like the last ramble. Hopefully you like this one. And maybe I'll do more rambly videos. I like talking. So as I say, please do subscribe so you don't miss out on any in the future. Anyway, that's been my probably uneducated review of the North and the South. Cheerio.